Good morning, everyone. Depending on when you're watching this, right now for me, it's morning. So I just wanted to rave about 57 North. So I do something, as you know, I work with an extended day program where I teach fourth and fifth grade, where I also serve as the youth development coordinator, better known as the after school principal. And I've been working here, teaching here since 2017. And one of the things I implemented around 2020 was 57 North. I got it from Mr. N. I went out and bought a merge cube, and I used that because the merge cube you could. Let me go back. So 57 North is a interactive story. You can even call it a video game, perhaps. And this story has many alternate endings, and the students have the autonomy to choose how the story ends based on the decisions. They get to choose, what action happens next while reading. In my class, I turn the captions on because they know they need to read it, because when I ask you a question, when we do a verbal review, because I've learned that actual quizzes don't work after the story, but if we can have a discussion, I count that as a quiz. But I need for you to be able to tell me using contextual evidence where you got your information from, why you feel the way you feel, what told you that, how did you infer, So it's been really, really fun over the past 3 years watching it, because I've been using 57 North for 3 years. So my first year I used the merge cube. And then after that, I found that hard because I had to hold my iPad and the cube and turn it. So then I learned about standard mode, where I can just hold my iPad, screen share it to my television, and they still loved it. With the merge cube, though, it's fun because you literally get a cube and you can turn it in which direction you want the story to go. So if I wanted to, it gives you 4 options. So you can turn it north, south, east, or west, pretty much, and that determines your next choice of story. With the iPad, you just choose it. You can click it on the screen. Either way, the kids love it. So what I did was we would read it chapter by chapter, but for every scene where there was a choice, we would stop and take a vote. Should we go this, or should we go this way, or go this way? Should we do this? Should he do that? And it was just really, really awesome. I also love it, not only from the literacy approach, but from the student choice approach, because it allows them to choose their own path, if you will, in collaboration with their peers. So a biggie for me is teaching my students, because that's a huge struggle, is how to collaborate, how to have discussions, how to talk to one another, how to hear each other is saying, and respect each other's opinion and work together moving forward. 57 North allowed us to do that because we were able to collaborate. And they didn't even realize at first that they were collaborating because, again, we have to vote on what our next move is in the story. And they have to discuss it. And then while discussing it, they might argue. One may say, I want to go there. Or one group may say, we want to go this way. Another group may say, we want to go this way. And I said, well, why would we do that? Just provoking them, being a horrible teacher, antagonizing them. And they're like, well, if we do this, so-and-so can die. We want him to die. He's the bad guy. And we got to do something. Like, we got to get out of the story. Like, I'm sick of him. And then the other one's like, no, we got to focus on, fixing the boat or whatever. And, they're explaining why through collaboration. And another thing I've noticed, too, is leader norms is what I call them, where you have that student who doesn't mind being the voice, who doesn't mind, explaining to the rest of the group why they feel the way they feel. And the group's like, okay, yeah, I'm down with that. And then that person is, unanimously voted upon to be the person who argues with the other team lead, who they have also voted upon. They haven't had this discussion on you're the leader or whatnot, but they all have said, okay, I trust this person, so we're just going to follow their lead. Every once in a while, the team might, fall out, but they tend to work it out relatively quickly. And if not, I can go over there and kind of, talk about, have a meeting of the minds and figure out how we can meet in the middle. But more often than not, they're so engaged in the story, they don't even care about arguing. Like, okay, that's what you want to do, we're going to do it. I don't like this, I'm going to see this, I'm going to see what's going to happen. It's not going to work. So they're just gazing at the TV, just gazing at it, and it's like, I know it's not going to work, but I'm watching anyway. So they're still engaged. And then again, it makes me happy that they're learning how to collaborate without it being, structured. And the fact that, 57 North, again, I've taught it for 3 years, I used it for 3 years. So every year I've lived out a different ending. So I don't know how many endings there are or how they came up with it, but I'm glad they did because it's just so fruitful for the students. In fact, I planned to drag it out for another 2 weeks, and I knew we were getting close to the end because there's certain parts of the story that just happen. Like there's certain things that just won't change. I won't say what they are because if you haven't read it, you need to read it and you got to share it with the kids. But it's just, it blew my mind how engaged they were. And it just made me happy as well. So to see all of the endings, I don't know how many there are, how many decisions you can make or what have you. But I think it's through Coconut, the people who made it, or whoever it was. I'm messing it up and I apologize. But they just did an awesome, awesome job. And for me, as someone who loves deeper learning, and I've been using that since 2015 as my approach to instruction, it drives deeper learning. So at the end of the story, we finished it by accident on Monday. Again, it's been so good. When I had a student teacher in the room, he and them were both like, can we do another chapter? Can we do another chapter? Like, they just wanted to see what would happen next. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Praying that their decisions will keep dragging it out. But, Monday was our final day in 57 North. And I tell you, I just love the story. Another thing is, before I go any further, it's also a thriller. So it's not just something you're reading, it's engaging because it keeps you, each chapter as an adult, kept me at the edge of my seat at 32 years old, just looking at it like, man, I'm really kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen. Then the ending, like this time, the ending was like, really? Seriously? No. So, and even the kids, like they were just like, oh my God, like I thought we did everything right and we still didn't get the ending that we wanted to, at the expense of some of our characters who we saw go through so much. And yeah, so to have that kind of buy-in from kids who, for me, who don't want to read, who don't like to engage, anything literacy, when they hear reading or literature, it's just like, no, we'll do anything but that. That and math, not happening. But they're totally engaged in 57 North. And, at the end, I was able to do something that, is an ongoing struggle for us is, can you identify your main characters? What was the climax of the story? I could ask questions based on contextual evidence and they could literally, present that to me, all over again, showed me like, yes, they learned from this and they grew in this area. So today's Wednesday, since we finished it Monday, yesterday we had some other things to do. I wanted to move into behavior, manners, and social and emotional. And then we talked about chivalry and thank you and how to live a life that is not compromised, setting standards and not changing those standards. I could tie all that in, and that helped me as well. And then on top of that, what we'll be doing today is we'll begin to talk about how choices play out and the results, how our decisions today will affect us tomorrow. And I'll be able to use 57 North because it was all, they decided where they were going and they made plans based on every decision that they made with 57 North was agenda based. They had a plan behind it, if that makes sense. I'm going to make this decision because I'm hoping for this result right here, whether it's good or bad or whatever. I have a plan, and I'm making this decision in connection to my anticipated plan. And, sometimes it played out, sometimes it didn't. I can now take that and tie it into life. You're going to make decisions, the decisions you make right now on whether or not you're engaging in this class discussion, will render some results later on, just as in 57 North. And I could, I'll be using the point of references, some decisions that I know within the climax of the story, some decisions that we made as a class. Because there were also times where both teams all were on the same page. Everybody raised their hand and said, we're doing this one. No one raised their hand for option 2 or 3, but option 1, they said, yeah, we're doing, that's the one we're going with. That's it. Watch it happen. And they did. It was our decision, and we got a result. Life is the same way, and I'll be able to do that. So I made this video with the intent of 2 things. Number 1, find lessons that gain buy-in. You need those. They last longer, and it doesn't feel like work. I literally sat at one of my desk, my student desk, and was just engaged with them. And there was one part, the phone rang, because, I'm the after-school principal, so I had to step out the room, and I gave it to a student. I said, okay, let everybody vote. Listen to them and go with the majority's vote. And this student is really, really busy at times. He just started medicine. We've been trying to work on redirecting his behavior. It's been a real struggle. Even mom has been, soliciting help from me to kind of get that back up and things like that. When I tell you he owned it, he took ownership of that responsibility. It was awesome. So awesome. And I'm really, really proud of him because he did well. It was to the point where I said, hold up, you got to bring me up to speed. While I was on the phone, I'm missing stuff. He was able to fill me in. The students were excited to tell me, like, man, Coach B, and then that so-and-so came, and then this happened, and this happened again, trying to keep from ruining the story for you. But they were just telling me. And I found myself at 32 years old at the edge of my seat, like, wait, what? How? And they could tell me everything that they just read or just happened. And to find a content area that engaging is rare for me. Working, I can't say I come from there, but working in a Title I community for a number of years now, I know what gets students going. And to see them feel fulfilled and the smile on their faces and to be able to tie it into a real world approach is so beneficial for them. And for me, it's rewarding for me, beneficial for them. And, 57 North does that. So this video, for the last 12 minutes, I'm just telling you, 57 North is, it's literacy, it's social and emotional, it's teamwork, skill building. And if you really want your students to learn how to collaborate, I know I talked about team building, but, collaboration in the classroom, getting them to work as a team, as a cohesive team, it's a good book. It's a good read. I just really saw a lot of fruit this year. And again, another thing, I think I said this earlier, but if not, I'm going to say it now. If I have, then just, kind of ignore my redundance. It's great to know that for me firsthand teaching it, I have read a story for 3 years and got 3 different endings. It's not boring, and that's what we need. In addition to that, being able to teach choice is a biggie. That's what I'm really excited about today, being able to show the connection between the choices in 57 North and the choices that you're getting ready to have in life. Because my 5th graders are about to go to middle school. But a benefit for them, like for 4th grade, I think they'll get the concept. But 5th grade is going to own it because they've read it for 2 years and got 2 different results. Even within the story, they saw from, we may have done this one last year, so we're going to try this one now. But I already know that story, so can we do, I know what happens when this decision is made. So I'm going to try another decision out of the 4 represented or presented to me. I'm going to choose, another one as opposed to the one I've seen before. And they even would explain that to the team, like, no, if we do this, I know it. If we do this, this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen. It's just told, no, let's just avoid that. Let's try this. To hear a 4th or 5th grader in this concept say that, I know it's equivalent to them being able to identify. This is where the depth comes in. They can now identify, if I make this decision, I've been down this road, I know how it's going to end. Why would I make that stupid mistake again? Because of that, I'm going to make this decision because I don't know what will happen over here, but I know it got to be better than what happened over here. So we're going to go this way because this got to be better than this. And they were able to communicate that to their peers. And it just made me so proud because I struggle right now every day when it comes to behavior with decision making. So I'm excited today that I'm able to tie that in and give them ownership. You can't tell me you can't do it because I've seen you do it for the past, this is week 9. I've seen you do it for the past 9 weeks in the story. So the same way you did it with me on that iPad for 57 North, you got to do it every day in your life. Because these decisions that you make today are going to affect you tomorrow. Either they're going to help you or haunt you. One of the two is going to happen. And buy-in happens. I'm telling you, I'm just so excited about it. So I'm so thankful for 57 North because it's so lucrative. When you're talking about learning, it's a sweet spot for it. And I'm just really, really excited and proud. And today will be, us closing out 57 North for good for this school year. But I'm just so thankful for everything that it brought. Like, I'm just blown away. Really, really proud. So 57 North. It's a good instructional practice, something you must implement in your classroom. So good. Just remember, let the students be the center stage. Let them decide everything. You just click. The same way I made a joke to one of my principal friends. They point and click on my quizzes, so I'm gonna point and click on this little reading activity because, yeah, we're getting out of that. So I'm just really, 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 really proud of them, and I'm really hoping that today's discussion will be successful, which I think it will, because life is so much better when you have a point of reference. So I think that's where we'll be headed. But I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for 16 minutes of your time. Again, if you have not heard of 57 North, it is so worth checking out. It is an incredible story. I encourage you, try it on your own. If you have children at home, my nieces and nephew, when I first was implementing it, I took my work iPad home and I tried it with them. And that's what made me realize students would actually engage. They were my testers. And, again, they loved it. So, and I even think it'll work with middle school. It's very engaging because of the way it's set up and things. So that's all I have. I just wanted to share that with you because I love it, and I really believe you'll love it too. But I got to get back to work. It's time for admin duty. So I will talk to you all later on. Thank you for listening. Try 57 North, and let me know what you think as well. Really, really interested to see how it works in your classroom, in your culture. Of your building, just to see how it works. So really, really expecting some good results. We'll talk soon.